The monitor doesn't care about your aesthetic. It doesn't care if your before and after photo got 5,000 likes on Instagram. In the ER, we see the after that people don't post. We sometimes see people experiencing significant fatigue and mental fog when they drastically cut carbohydrates without proper guidance or electrolyte support. We see the fitness enthusiast whose kidneys are screaming because they replaced water with unverified protein supplements they bought from a WhatsApp forward. But it goes even further than that. We are seeing reports of sudden cardiac events in young adults engaged in intense fitness regimens. Now, it's important to be precise here. Recent 2025 data shows that competitive male bodybuilders face a mortality rate 3 times higher than the average person, largely driven by cardiovascular events. This isn't about the average person going for a jog or lifting weights to stay healthy. But the internet often blurs the line between extreme competitive practices and everyday fitness. And I have to ask you, what do you think about this trend? Welcome to the Curious Minds podcast. I'm Janani, a medical student from Chennai obsessed with the biology beneath the surface. Today, we are taking the endless noise of the internet and putting it under a microscope. Now, if you live in South India, you know a popular Tamil debate show on TV where the average Joe meets the expert. Recently, they sat down to talk about diets. On one side, you had people proudly claiming they only eat once a day or have zero salt in their house. On the other side, the doctors. And let me tell you, the look on those doctors' faces wasn't judgment. It was genuine, clinical fear. Why are we talking about this today? Honestly, it is really concerning. So many of my friends and relatives are experimenting with various extreme diets, and it is slightly causing me worry. I have deeply researched this, and I am going to share only what is available in the public domain, condensed to tell you a factual story to help you make an informed decision. Here is the one big idea for today. A diet is a medical tool, not a social identity. How you feel is far more important than what you see in the mirror. Your body is not a social media experiment. It is a system with constraints, trade-offs, and warning lights. We have outsourced our health to influencers who have a ring light but no medical degree. We are taking diets designed for specific clinical illnesses and applying them to our healthy, sedentary lives. Let's look at the autopsy table of nutrition to find out what really happens when the Instagram version of health meets biological reality. Let's audit a few of the top viral diets. We need to separate clinical diets from influencer trends, understand who they were made for, and look at the warning signs. Let's start with the metabolic extremes. Number 1, the keto diet. In the 1920s, the ketogenic diet was a medical prescription to treat drug-resistant epilepsy in children. It shifts the body toward using ketones as a major fuel source to help control seizures. Today, people use it to drop several kilos for a wedding, but unsupervised keto can cause fatigue, constipation, nutrient imbalance, and may be hard to sustain long-term. The warning signs could be extreme fatigue or a keto flu that never seems to go away, signaling that your body is struggling to adapt. Just a heads up for the keto crowd. Number 2, intermittent fasting. Now, for many people, moderate intermittent fasting can be beneficial when done correctly, improving insulin sensitivity and supporting metabolic health. But today, people push it to 22 hours, surviving on black coffee. If you have a history of gastritis or hormonal vulnerability, extreme fasting windows may worsen reflux, headaches, low energy, or disrupt menstrual cycles and hormone balance in some women. Are you noticing a pattern here? We are taking clinical extremes and making them our daily routine. Let's look at 3 more trends. Number 3. The paleo diet. The idea was to eat like our hunter-gatherer ancestors. It was initially embraced by elite athletes burning thousands of calories. But today, the average sedentary worker sitting at a desk for 10 hours is eating massive quantities of red meat. The warning signs. In some cases, especially with very high red meat intake and poor hydration, it may lead to high uric acid levels or joint pain. Number 4. Liquid detoxes. Medically, liquid diets are prescribed before major gastrointestinal surgeries. Today, they are sold as 7-day toxin flushes. The reality is, your liver and kidneys are already incredibly efficient at detoxing you for free. Stripping the fiber away from fruits and vegetables leaves you with just colored sugar water, which can lead to blood sugar crashes in some people. Number 5. Raw veganism. A plant-based diet is wonderful, but plant-based diets are healthiest when they are varied and well-planned, not when they are ideologically rigid. The extreme raw-only movement assumes cooking destroys all nutrients, when in reality, cooking can improve the bioavailability of some nutrients. While raw diets seek purity, studies show a rigid raw vegan pattern is linked to significantly lower bone mineral density and critical B12 deficiencies. On that Tamar debate show, there was a forensic surgeon. She doesn't see patients in a clinic. She sees what is left behind. Using her insight as a chilling illustration, when we pair that with the extensive research already available in the public domain, a terrifying picture emerges. We are seeing patients who look like fitness models on the outside, but whose organs are quietly suffocating under hidden visceral fat on the inside. This is the TOFI reality. Thin outside, fat inside. A person can lose scale weight while still carrying dangerous visceral fat and metabolic risk, a phenotype particularly common in South Asian populations. And here is why that is so dangerous. Unlike the harmless fat just beneath your skin, visceral fat is biologically active, releasing inflammatory chemicals directly into your bloodstream that drive insulin resistance, early diabetes, and silent heart disease. Weight loss alone doesn't guarantee metabolic health. Extreme yo-yo dieting or unbalanced eating can contribute to a misleading picture of health. Your organs can be struggling with unseen fat even while you look like a fitness model. Remember this, fat loss is visible. Metabolic health is invisible. Her underlying message was simple but haunting. We are seeing a maintenance crisis of the human body. We are building powerful engines with no steering wheels. Look, I don't blame anyone for trying to be healthier. We all want to feel better, to have more energy, to live longer. But we live in the era of performative health. If you didn't post your green juice, did you even drink it? We are chasing external validation while ignoring internal signals. We are taking our nutritional cues from 30-second reels, WhatsApp forwards, and YouTube shorts. We have completely abandoned the grandmother treatment, which wasn't about eating imported kale or buying expensive detox teas, but about drinking Jera water or buttermilk, and eating local, seasonal, balanced meals that support a diverse gut microbiome. In the West, they call this bio-individuality. In Tamil Nadu, we just call it common sense. Your cousin's metabolic rate is not your own. Your body is a non-Newtonian fluid. It changes shape and speed based on your specific stress, your genetics, and your history. Stop treating your nutrition like a competitive game. It is a cooperative game between you and your cells. Now, I am not saying don't diet. I am not saying you shouldn't strive to be fitter. But you must follow proper protocol. Do not jump into any diet just because your partner or friend is doing it. Instead, here is what I think is a much more sensible approach. First, the data. Speak to a qualified nutritionist or a doctor. Get your blood work done. Do not cut out major food groups without knowing your baseline. Second, the why. Question yourself. Why do you have to increase or decrease your weight? Is it for your long-term heart health or just to fit into clothes for an upcoming event? Third, the golden question. Is this a sustainable practice? Can I do this for life? If the answer is no, you're not on a diet. You're on a timer. You must analyze everything thoroughly and apply basic common sense to make a decision. Set realistic milestones. Assess whether this is actually working. Course correct if required. Do not blindly follow an approach mindlessly. If you do that and something doesn't feel right, you'll know you made an informed decision and can safely adjust your path. Remember, change within you can only bring true transformation. I want to hear from you. Comment below your thoughts. Have you tried any of these diets? Did your body send you warning signals? What do you think of this rising trend of sudden health crises in young people? I am also constantly learning. There is new research evolving every single day, and probably we might have to adapt, course correct, and simply be more aware. Your body whispers before it breaks. The question is, are you listening or scrolling? I'm Janani, and this is Curious Minds Podcast. Stay curious, stay sharp, and I'll see you next week.